Good evening, my friends. Let me tell you tonight that success, happiness, and love are not distant things waiting somewhere beyond your reach, available only after endless striving and sacrifice. Everything you have ever desired is already here, in this very moment, within you. You have been taught to chase happiness, to pursue love, to work endlessly for wealth. But in the middle of all that chasing, you may have forgotten the one principle that shapes the world you experience. What you seek is also seeking you. And it is not constant effort that brings it closer, but the power of your imagination. Listen carefully. Every desire is like a seed planted in the fertile garden of your mind. That seed does not grow through force or struggle. It grows through your willingness to imagine and accept its fulfillment as though it were already yours. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you stopped chasing your dreams and began living as though they were already a reality? What if, instead of running after the life you desire, you became the person who naturally lives and experiences it? This, friends, is the law of assumption, the secret to bringing your desires into being effortlessly. You don't have to toil to build a reality where your wish is fulfilled. All you need is to close your eyes, dwell in the feeling of that wish fulfilled, and trust that it's already done. Let go of the need to chase. Chasing is rooted in doubt. It tells the universe you don't yet believe in your own power to create. Instead, rest in the quiet confidence that the moment you desire something, it already belongs to you. By assuming the feeling of that desire fulfilled, you send out a signal that aligns every circumstance, event, and person needed to bring it to pass. Look at your life. What are you chasing? What are you pursuing out there that you could just as easily find within? Your only real task is to dwell in the state of your fulfilled desire. Don't concern yourself with how it will arrive. That's not your work. The how belongs to unseen forces that respond to your inner world. Your job is simply to stay steady in the feeling of the wish fulfilled and let life's pieces arrange themselves around it. Life isn't a race, it's a divine unfolding. Once you rest in the knowing that what you seek is already on its way, you'll stop running in circles. You'll stand still in the silence of your own being and know that everything you desire is already making its way toward you. I ask you, what if you could stop chasing happiness? What if you simply let it arrive by assuming you're already happy? What if, instead of chasing love, you assumed you were already loved, deeply and fully? What if, instead of chasing success, you lived in the end, seeing yourself already in possession of the life you long for? Stop chasing and start creating from within. Let your imagination lead and trust the outer world will bend to match the vision you hold inside. This is the secret. This is the law. You don't need to struggle for what already belongs to you. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and let it come to you. It will, as certainly as the sun rises, because your assumption is the bridge carrying you from desire into fulfillment. So be still. Be still and know that it is done. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled means inhabiting the emotional and mental state of already having what you desire, even without a shred of outward evidence yet. This is the key that unlocks your inner creative power. When you imagine your desire as present reality, you're shifting your consciousness into the state where that desire already exists. The world around you, though it may not immediately reflect your inner vision, will begin reorganizing itself to match the state you're holding inside. I've always stressed that your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, is what shapes your outer reality. So if you want to manifest something, you can't merely think about it or hope for it someday. You have to feel it as though it's already here. This goes well beyond wishful thinking or positive affirmations. It's about genuinely becoming the version of yourself who has already received what you desire. Say you want financial abundance. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled means feeling as though you're already wealthy. You'd stop worrying about money, stop acting from lack, because internally, you're already living in abundance. You'd start thinking and behaving the way someone financially free naturally does. This isn't pretending or faking it. It's aligning your inner state with the reality you want to build. By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you send a clear signal to your subconscious and to the universe. This is my reality. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between the imagined and the physically experienced. It accepts whatever you consistently impress upon it as truth. Over time, your outer reality will shape itself to reflect the inner truth you're living. This practice demands faith and persistence. There will be moments when the outer world seems to contradict your inner assumption. You may feel the pull toward doubt, or toward slipping back into old thought patterns. But remain faithful to the state of the wish fulfilled, returning to that feeling again and again, especially in moments of doubt, and you will eventually see your desire show up in the physical world. You don't need to know how or when. That's not your job. Your only task is to live in the assumption that it's already happened. The how belongs to unseen forces working behind the scenes. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you bypass the urge to control external circumstances and instead focus on the one thing actually within your control, your inner state. In doing this, you become the creator of your reality, not through force or effort, but through aligning your inner world with the experience of your desire already fulfilled. Stay faithful to this state, and in time, the outer world will reflect your inner conviction. Be still and know is a profound principle, pointing straight at the heart of faith and trust in the creative process. To be still means quieting the constant noise of the mind, the doubts, the worries, the fears, the compulsion to control every outcome. It's an invitation to step back from external chaos and take refuge in the silence of your own being, where real power lives. In that stillness, you're not forcing results. You're allowing life's natural flow to unfold in your favor. When I speak of being still, I mean a state of internal calm and unshakable confidence, even in the face of apparent obstacles or delays. This stillness isn't passive, it's a deeply active trust in the unseen forces constantly at work, shaping your reality according to your inner assumptions. These unseen forces, call them the subconscious, the divine, universal law, whatever term fits, respond not to frantic action or restless worry, but to the quiet certainty that your desire is already being fulfilled. To know is to hold an inner conviction so strong it can't be shaken by outer appearances. This knowing goes beyond intellectual understanding. It's a deep, intuitive awareness beyond logic. It means being certain, beyond any doubt, that the outcome you desire is already on its way, or better yet, already exists in a realm beyond your current perception. This knowing is the very essence of faith, the kind that moves mountains. In stillness, you tap into a higher state of consciousness, where the need to strive or struggle simply falls away. You stop chasing external validation, stop hunting for signs of progress, because you trust the process is already in motion. The seeds you've planted in imagination are being nurtured, and it's only a matter of time before they break into physical form. By being still, you release resistance, allowing the creative forces to work without interference from your conscious mind's doubts or fears. This stillness also demands patience, something that can feel difficult in a world obsessed with speed and instant gratification. But true creation takes time. Just as a seed needs time growing beneath the soil before it breaks the surface, so too does your desire need time to manifest. In the interim, you're called to rest in the knowledge that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even without visible proof yet. The greatest creators throughout history understood this. What matters most is the conviction held within, not the circumstances surrounding them. Whether you're manifesting health, abundance, love, or success, your role isn't to force things into being. Your role is to trust the process and stay anchored in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, knowing unseen forces are aligning everything on your behalf. In stillness, you fall into rhythm with the flow of life itself. You step back from needing to figure out how things will happen and simply rest in the belief that they will. This trust in the unseen is what activates the creative power inside you. It's in these quiet moments of faith, when you release the need for control, that you become a magnet for exactly what you desire. So be still and know, trust that your inner conviction, paired with a still mind, is enough to bring about the change you're seeking. There's no need to rush, no need to push, no need to worry. In the quiet of your mind and the certainty of your heart, trust that the entire universe is working to fulfill your desire. Your desire marks the very beginning of creation, not a random impulse, but something far deeper stirring within you. It's a call from the divine, urging you toward expansion and fulfillment. Every genuine desire rising in your heart is more than a passing wish. It's a communication from the divine source of creation, a signal that you're ready for a new reality. Your desires aren't random or arbitrary. They're intentional sparks of creative energy, placed within you to guide your path through this world. I've always taught that your desires are the language through which the divine speaks, directing you toward your highest potential. When you feel the pull of a desire for love, success, freedom, growth, it's an invitation to bring something new into existence. Desire isn't something to fear or dismiss. It's to be embraced, because it's the starting point of every act of creation. At its core, desire reflects the creative nature of life itself. Just as the universe endlessly expands and evolves, so do we, through our desires, expand our consciousness and experience. When a desire rises within you, it signals you're ready to step into a new state of being, to raise your understanding of yourself and the world around you. Each desire is a seed waiting to be nurtured by your imagination and belief, holding within it the power to shape your reality. It's important to understand that desires don't arise from lack or need. They don't come to remind you of what you're missing. They come to show you what's possible. They're the divine impulse calling you toward a fuller expression of life, love, and creativity. A deep, genuine desire is the universe telling you that you're capable of bringing that reality into existence. The desire itself is proof that what you're seeking is already available to you, waiting to be claimed. Your desires also serve as a compass, pointing you toward your purpose, guiding you toward growth and expansion, urging you past your current limitations. When you honor your desires, you align with the flow of creation. You become an active participant in the divine process of bringing the unseen into the seen, the imagined into the real. Desire is also deeply tied to your imagination, the tool through which creation happens. When a desire arises, it's your imagination that lets you see, feel, and experience it as though already fulfilled. Through this vivid mental imagery and emotional engagement, you begin breathing life into your desire, setting in motion the forces that will bring it into physical form. Desire, then, isn't just the start of creation. It's the bridge between the unseen realm of potential and the physical world of manifestation. By nurturing your desires and giving them life in imagination, you participate in the divine act of creation, turning your inner world into your outer experience. Your desires are sacred, whispers of the divine, calling you to create, expand, evolve. Honor them, Accept that they're meant to be realized, and you align yourself with the creative forces of the universe, ready to bring a new reality forth from the depths of your being. Stop chasing the shadows. This idea points to the illusion that fulfillment, success, or happiness exists somewhere outside of you, in the fleeting, ever-shifting external world. The shadows of life are the distractions, the outward symbols of success or happiness people often pursue, believing that obtaining them will finally bring peace or joy. But these external things, material wealth, recognition, relationships, are just reflections of an inner state, not its source. When you chase shadows, you're effectively giving your power away. You're operating from the belief that something outside yourself holds the key to your contentment. This chasing reveals something deeper, a lack of faith in your own creative power. It's the belief that you're somehow incomplete as you are, and that outer circumstances must be manipulated or controlled to get you what you want. But everything you seek outwardly already exists within you, waiting to be realized through imagination and belief. Real creative power lives in your consciousness, in how you perceive and feel about yourself. Chasing the things of the world reflects a misunderstanding of how reality actually works. The external world is simply a mirror of your internal state. Believe you're lacking, that you must strive and chase to find happiness or success, and that belief gets mirrored right back to you as struggle and dissatisfaction. But once you realize you already possess everything you need within, through your ability to imagine, assume, believe, you stop feeling the need to chase anything. You become a conscious creator instead, drawing your desires toward you effortlessly. Chasing the shadows of life keeps you locked in perpetual wanting, believing something out there will finally complete you. But no matter how much you accumulate, or how hard you pursue these shadows, they'll always slip away, because they were never the source of fulfillment to begin with. The true source of everything you seek lives in your own consciousness. It's your inner state that determines what you attract, not how hard you chase externally. Chasing shadows also means placing your faith in the physical world as ultimate reality, a fundamental misunderstanding of how creation works. The outer world is temporary, constantly shifting. It's not the cause of your experiences, but the effect. The true cause lives within you, your beliefs, your assumptions, your imagination. Once you understand this, you stop looking outside yourself for validation or fulfillment. You turn inward instead, to the source of all creation, and begin crafting your reality from there. In this way, chasing reveals a lack of faith, not just in your own consciousness, but in the divine process of creation itself. When you chase, you're telling the universe you don't trust your desires are already in motion, that you don't believe unseen forces are already working to bring them into reality. Chasing creates resistance because it's rooted in fear and doubt, the fear that you won't get what you want unless you force it into being. Instead of chasing, you're called to recognize that you are already the source of everything you desire. The love, success, abundance, or peace you're after aren't outside of you, they're states of consciousness you can cultivate from within. Align with these states internally, and the outer world will naturally reflect them back, without struggle or pursuit. You don't need to run after the shadows of life, once you understand the light was always within you. Living in the end is the key to manifestation. This is a central principle in my teaching, emphasizing the importance of dwelling mentally and emotionally in the state of your desire already fulfilled. It means that instead of fixating on the process, the steps, the obstacles standing between you and your goal, you shift your attention entirely to the end result, living in the assumption that it's already yours. Doing this aligns your inner world with the reality you want to build, and the external world, in time, will conform to match your inner conviction. Living in the end requires imagining and feeling what it would be like if your desire were already real. This means releasing thoughts of present limitations or conditions suggesting your desire is far off. Instead, you mentally step into the future, into the state of already having achieved what you seek. The feeling is what matters most. Want success, for instance? You'd stop thinking about how to achieve it or what stands in your way. Instead, you'd focus on the feeling of already being successful. How would you feel? How would you act? What would life look like from that vantage point? This goes beyond mere visualization. It's about adopting the emotional state of your fulfilled desire. I've always stressed that feeling is the secret. The sensation of living in the end gives power to the mental picture you're holding. When you emotionally feel as though your wish is already accomplished, you impress that state onto your subconscious. The subconscious then accepts this new reality as fact, even though it hasn't yet appeared physically. Once that impression takes hold, the creative forces of the universe begin moving in alignment with your inner state, bringing about the conditions your desire needs to materialize. Living in the end demands persistence. Imagining your wish fulfilled once or twice isn't enough. You must keep returning to that state of consciousness, especially when outer circumstances seem to contradict your desire. The outer world may keep reflecting the old reality for a while, but you must stay faithful to the feeling of your fulfilled desire. The more you inhabit this mental and emotional state, the faster the outer world will shift to reflect your inner assumption. I often speak of letting go of the how. Living in the end means releasing the need to control the process or figure out exactly how your desire will come to pass. You trust that embodying the state of fulfillment will naturally unfold the means. This can be difficult, since the human mind loves to plan, strategize, and anticipate every step. But living in the end requires surrendering that need for control. It asks you to trust that once you've aligned with your desire mentally and emotionally, the universe will arrange the details in ways you could never have planned yourself. It's also worth understanding that living in the end isn't about pretending or faking things outwardly. You're not required to act as though your desire is fulfilled when it clearly hasn't shown up yet in the physical world. Instead, the work happens internally, through consistently returning to the state of fulfillment in your imagination. It's this internal shift, this quiet but powerful alignment of your inner state, that sets the outer changes in motion. This principle reflects a deeper law. The inner world precedes the outer world. Reality is created from within, and persisting in the mental and emotional state of your wish fulfilled leaves the outer world with no choice but to mirror that inner state. Whether it takes days, weeks, or months, the external world will, without fail, eventually conform to the reality you've been living in imagination. In this way, living in the end is the ultimate expression of faith, acting as though your desire is already accomplished, not because there's proof in the outer world, but because you trust the power of your own imagination and the creative forces at play. The more you live in the end, the more you become a vibrational match for the reality you seek, and the more effortlessly it's drawn to you. Imagination, not effort, creates your reality. This points to the idea that true creation flows not from physical exertion or grinding hard work, but from the visions and beliefs you hold within your mind. In my teaching, I stress that imagination is the creative force behind everything you experience in life. It isn't the amount of effort you pour in or how hard you strive that determines your success. It's the power of your inner vision and your ability to believe in it that shapes the reality you meet. I've always said, imagination is the gateway to every possibility. When you imagine something vividly, you're planting the seeds of its eventual manifestation. Your mind, through imagination, is the architect of your life. It can build worlds, experiences, and outcomes far beyond what physical effort alone could ever accomplish. Because imagination taps into the unseen creative power of the universe, the very force that transforms thoughts and desires into physical form. Imagination is the starting point of all creation, whether it's a career, a relationship, or a personal achievement. Effort, on the other hand, is the outer expression of trying to force things into happening. Society constantly promotes the idea that hard work is the key to success, and while action certainly has its place, it's not the root cause of your results. People can labor tirelessly for years without achieving their desires, if their inner beliefs and imagination aren't aligned with their goals. Effort without belief is empty. It lacks the creative power needed for genuine transformation. You could work endlessly, but if you're inwardly imagining failure, struggle, or limitation, that's exactly what you'll manifest, no matter how hard you work. When you focus your imagination on seeing and feeling the end result of your desires, you activate your subconscious, which responds to images and emotion, not physical labor. Your subconscious doesn't care how much effort you put in. It responds only to the state of consciousness you hold. Hold a state of success, abundance, and fulfillment internally, and your subconscious will bring forth circumstances and opportunities to match that inner vision. Imagination lets you bypass the limitations of the physical world. Through it, you can transcend your current circumstances and create new realities that once seemed impossible. This is the true secret of creation. Your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner one. Change your imagination. Begin seeing and feeling yourself as already having what you desire, and you set forces in motion that will reorganize your external reality to match your inner vision. The key is understanding that your imagination isn't just a tool for daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's the divine creative faculty within you, the very power through which God creates through you. Use it consciously and deliberately, and you become a co-creator with the divine, shaping your reality from within. So remember, it's not through struggle or effort that you build the life you desire. It's through the power of your imagination, joined with faith and feeling, that all things become possible. Your imagination is your greatest gift. Use it wisely, and watch your world transform to match the visions you hold within. Go now and create the life you were meant to live, not through struggle, but through the divine power of your imagination. This is Neville Lectures. I will see you in the next video.